show is about your life, how to make it better, how to make more from it, how to love deeper, how to share it with others. This journey is about connection to your dreams, with topics centering on love, money, sexuality, and energy that unites it all. The show will change your life. For years, I've coached people in easy-to-learn skills, and I've seen incredible changes. I'm here to teach you those skills as a coach and hopefully a new friend. Hi, I'm Kyle. Come along with me as you move along your path of life success. Welcome to the Kyle Phoenix Show.
Here's a fun one. The past. How is our relationship different from or similar to the ones you've had in the past? Is there anything in your past I should be aware of? If your past boyfriends or girlfriends listen to your most negative characteristics, what would they be? Did your mother or father abuse each other or you in any way, sexually, emotionally, or physically? Can I personally let the past remain in the past? Can I forgive and forget the bad things that happened during our relationship? Can I accept my spouse's premarital past and move on with our relationship? The past is prologue. The past is always alive. The past is always present. The past is part of how your partner, who you're now in a relationship with or considering a relationship with, got to where they're at. So you now are kind of part of their past, or you are kind of connected to their past through the vessel of this person. So you might have some valid questions about that other person's past. Is there something I should be aware of? Like the time you spent at Sing Sing or at Attica. Something I should be aware of. Doesn't mean I'm going to love you less, but I might need to be aware of that, so like in a year or two, when we're driving along some dark highway and pulled over by the police, I'm aware of the fact of who I'm kind of in the car with. Here's a great thing that kind of comes up, and it was a question, but I'm going to do one example first. That comes up with maybe that you had a substance abuse problem, an alcohol problem, a drug problem. That there's a certain point where you might want to talk to somebody about, something, I'm in a 12-step program now, or I'm no longer drinking. Maybe that's why I never have a drink with dinner, because, a few years ago, I realized alcohol and me just didn't mix. Or maybe I experimented with drugs for a while, and now I'm kind of no drugs. Or maybe I smoked. That might actually affect my health one day. Little things like that, or even bigger things. I was married to somebody else. If we're in a same-sex relationship, that might be something valuable to know. It'd be something that you would normally tell in a heterosexual relationship. Apply the same social rules that you would in the heterosexual world to your alternative lifestyle. Don't necessarily love that title, but it conveys what we mean. But you want to ask those same questions. Are you married to anybody else? What was your relationship status? Did you live with somebody? Is the person still alive? Are they dead? Is that why you were in Attica? There are some questions out there that you might want to talk about. Another big thing that you might want to talk about is people's parental relationships. When we go into, on other videos, the Imago training, it talks about how our parents, our primary caregivers, teach us how to love, teach us the strategies of love. So however your mother is or however your father is, they have taught you that's the love to seek. So when you're seeking relationships, who am I attracted to, who am I attracted to, who am I attracted to, and I do this in workshops with people all the time. If you really want to destroy somebody, explain there's this little radar in your head that will find your mother or your father in a crowd of 1,000. Because part of what's happening is our brains are so powerful that our unconscious, our conscious, or subconscious are always kind of working in this massive kind of radar computer way. And sometimes when you felt that overwhelming attraction to somebody and years later don't understand why, sometimes if you write it down about some of your parents' character traits and your relationship character traits, you'll see the overwhelming similarities to that person. Part of what the Imago therapy talks about is that what you're supposed to do to move beyond the past or the emotional past with your parents is you're supposed to learn how to attach back to one of your most powerful relationships, which will be more powerful or as powerful as your parental relationships will be. Your romantic relationships are just as powerful and impacting in your adult life. You're supposed to learn how to deal with those different conflicts and confusions. So say that your father was short-tempered or was a rageaholic, just went off when something happened, just lost his mind, just blew his stack. You might have a propensity to be attracted to people who are short-tempered. Why? Because it's familiar. You know who that person kind of is. You feel comfortable or familiar with that kind of short-temperedness, that kind of control of the situation, that kind of wave that they sprout over environments of tension, all of that. That's familiar. You know that why? Because you grew up with it 10, 20 years, 30 years. Maybe your parents are still alive. What are you supposed to do in that? You're supposed to learn how to negotiate with a partner and see them, one, as different from your parents. So you might say, my God, he gets enraged just like my father did. Well, maybe not. Maybe your father went to a 10 and this person is a 7. Maybe you can start seeing this person isn't enraged, you're just angry, or they're just more emotionally demonstrative. And you learn how to deal with that in a healthy adult way. So it's important to know if somebody was emotionally abused, sexually abused, physically abused. There may be, I have a whole series planned, I started outlining, around sexual abuse. How do you deal with a partner? How do you deal with yourself in intimate relationships when you've had a history of sexual abuse? There may also then be a history of sexuality stuff that may have some confusion for you, or that you may need to discuss, that you like certain things, that you don't like certain things, that some things trigger bad memories. It has nothing to do with who you're with, but some things just don't feel good to you. There may be some ramifications from physical abuse. Some people are desensitized by physical abuse. Or they're frightened of physical anger. They're frightened of anger. So you might need to let somebody know, these are some of my buttons, and more importantly, you need to know what the other person's buttons are. And you need to be able to have frank discussions about it, because this is what creates the bridge of intimacy, and you're ultimately trying to create a deep bridge of intimacy to the other person. And sometimes that bridge can happen really, really fast. It's like there's no water in between. And other times you have to kind of labor at that bridge. And again, it's not always going to be 50-50. You might have to build 60% of that bridge, 70% of that bridge, because the person on the other side may not know how to build this bridge, how to describe their past to you, things that have happened, things that they wanted to happen differently. So when you talk about these questions, you're really kind of learning about who this person is and the things that they want, the things they don't want, maybe the things that they need to learn how to change so they don't repeat the mistakes of their past, and you don't repeat the mistakes of your past either.